Hey guys, it's Sherkopto here, and without further ado, welcome to the Shiny Only Run. Now, this is going to be a long one, but of course, if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. But getting into it, this game, I believe, was an amazing game. I believe they did great with it, but we started off doing our character creation and obviously naming our character Shirk, because it's just short for my username and I feel like it just fits. But we got done with it, and then we eventually start to go into the game. Welcome to Kalos, a world where we are stuck in a city because ultimately something weird is going on with the Prism Tower. And as they're investigating Prism Tower, a Floette and a man that looks very familiar come into the scene. But honestly, I have no idea what is going on. But welcome to the world of Kalos, where we are initially stuck in a city with these areas called wild zones that you will later find out where you get to catch Pokemon. But now we figure out what's going on and what the city looks like. And as we start to look into the beautiful region of Kalos, we see a Totodile, Tepig, and Chikorita talking to a girl. Now, I have no idea why they wanted to make the intro for this game so long, but I believe it still added a lot to the story and they still did amazing with it. But finally, we get spotted by the person, and we get introduced into the region of Kalos, and we get explained as to what's going on in this area. Now, of course, after all this, we have to run into a Pancham, which is acting like just this. And why did he have to run off with our bag at the beginning of the game? Making us go chase after him just to inevitably do a battle. But don't worry, we get to enter mission Get Your Travel Bag Back. Now, of course, in this run, we end up picking Totodile, which we cannot use because he is, unfortunately, shiny locked. But that is okay, because we will get to the shiny soon. So without further ado, we get into the rules for this shiny only run, which is only one shiny per zone, only one held item used to battle, and the last one being no duplicate shinies. But I'm very excited for this, and I can't wait to see what happens. Finally beating our first battle with the Pancham, we can finally start our adventure. Oh, but wait! There is battle zones. And what is this, you might ask? Well, I was questioning the same thing when I ran into them at first. But it turns out they're areas where you can gain points to get these things called challenge tickets. But as we are about to escape, the Floette appears again. And you might be questioning what's gonna happen this time. Well, this little flower might just save us. And let me just say, I did not expect this Floette to be able to pack a punch this hard. As we enter Hotel Z, This man asked if this bag in the corner is ours. But little did we know we had a little companion along with us. He looks familiar though. And as we come to find out that it is called a Zygarde cell, we can finally wake up in the morning and begin our adventure in Lumos City. Which of course this adventure begins off as any other, where you decide to exit the building, and as soon as you do that, you have to verse your rival, at least one of them. Now, I will be honest, with this style of battling, I don't think her team of starters had even one slight chance of winning this. I mean, it was just victory in 20 seconds. Now, of course, after beating Tawny, she says something about Lumoise's future, which we'll get to that in a little bit. And without further ado, our other favorite part of Pokemon, getting introduced to the Pokemon Center, where we meet the Nurse Joy of this area. And I say this area because you'll come to find out there are multiple races of Nurse Joy in this game. But at least this one helps to get the Pokédex app installed into our phone, so now we can begin to register Pokemon within our Pokédex. Which starts off with the Totodile that we got that doesn't count towards our shiny only run, so technically it didn't count towards our Pokédex. But sadly, directly after this, we end up having to go to the Wild Zone, where Tawny wants to teach us how to catch Pokemon, and then we get forced to catch 4 Pokemon that we cannot use for the shiny run, therefore they cannot be used for the team, so the game has not been started yet. So we get given Pokeballs where we can now go to catch the Fletchling and do a couple other tasks before we end up going to the Pokemon Lab. Sadly, the only way they can be explained about how we feel about all this is just this. Finally, after talking to Tawny for a bit, we go into the Pokemon Lab, where we see a familiar face from a previous game, which I believe to be X and Y. And who is this person, you might ask? Well, it is the Pokemon Professor, Mabel. This also being where she introduces us towards missions we can do to gain TMs to use for our Pokemon. As we walk out of the Pokemon Lab, we get introduced to a Scraggy, who is partnered by another person, who we get to call Naveen. Finally, after talking to Naveen, we meet Tawny, where we have to go to a battle zone to start learning about the ZA Royale. So getting into it, we learn where everything is on the map and how it's displayed, and then we go to meet Tawny and everyone else in the battle zone. I think they purposely just wanted to put a lot of exploring in the world so you could actually see how the city looked, but getting into the battle zone, we talked to Tawny, Naveen, and our other teammate Lita. And after Tawny and them explain everything, we go on to complete our battles so that we can get our first challenge ticket, unlocking further areas so we can start our shiny hunt soon. Then we go to meet Tawny at a little taxi area where we have to fight Zach the driver to be able to rank up to rank Y. Now this battle by far might be one of the easiest battles we've done, but after sending out Totodile and battling his Slowpoke, we win the match and then talk to Tawny, where we talk to our Rotom and get our promotion to rank Y for the first time. Of course, we go into a further conversation, and then a random character comes in. And who is this, you might ask? Well, it's Emma, who works at the liquor agency. Or I guess you could say the Liquor Bureau, which was founded by a man named Liquor, who was a detective in the Sinnoh region originally. Waking up the next day in Lumoy City, we meet the man named Tarragon, who tells us about information about dolls we can get that help us in many ways. After talking to Tarragon, we go to meet Tawny at a cafe where we get an Ember roast, and then we meet a guy named Vinny. This is where we talk to Vinny, where he talks to us about how Prism Tower is closed for renovations for some odd reason. And after talking to Vinny, we go to talk to Ivor, where I felt like this the entire time. But we continue with the story, and then after, we run with Tawny to go meet Emma. Now, the Liquor Bureau in this game, they did a very good job with, and of course, when going in here to talk to Emma, we come to find out that we get to do 3 missions. But of course we hop straight into it, first going to find the Sableye that somehow got a hold of this old lady's paw ring. Of course, after beating the Sableye, we go to give her her ring back so that we can complete this mission and go to complete the 2 others before going back to meet with Emma. Then we get to the second mission, which is fighting an Alpha Bunnelby, which I thought was going to be a hard fight, but I remembered we had Totodile as our teammate, so we were completely fine during this. Come to find out, while doing our side missions, they had some sort of discussion during that time. But after talking to Tawny for a little bit, we decide that we want to battle Emma. Now, right before battling Emma, of course, she talks to us about Mega Evolution and everything that's important for the game, but we already know about all of this, so we just go through the lines and we go into the battle. Now, at the beginning of this, I was initially scared, but after we go on to battle her, we find out that her only teammate for her team is a Mareep, so we were completely fine. And finally, after beating Emma for the first time, we get to see how amazing Mega Evolution looks. So prepare yourselves to see how amazing Mega Ampharos truly is in this game. I do honestly think the way they did the animations this game was perfect for Mega Evolution. I just wish they would have made it so that we could have moved where our Mega Stone was, so that the animation for us doing Mega Evolutions was also different as well, because that would have made a lot of sense. But I mean, just look at that. And now, of course, without further ado though, we get to start our shiny only run, where we start off at Area Zone 4, searching for our first hunt. This hunt took about 6 hours, but we finally got a shiny Spinarak, and man was I excited about this, because I had been waiting for 3 hours to be able to do this. But once I got it, man, I felt like that. I felt like Totodile running on water. And so, of course, we made sure to take some nice photos with our new teammate, and then we moved on to completing the next battle zone to get our challenge ticket, and then starting our next shiny hunt. We go into the next day, and I decided to explore Lumoise City for a little bit so I could start collecting items, getting TMs, getting Mega Crystals slowly, and just doing all of the necessities for the run. Now, after this, I decide to go to Area Zone 2 to start my next hunt for my next partner for the run. I wanted to hunt for Magikarp, but we see what we get. As we get towards the 2-hour mark of resetting, it gets very tired and exhausting, but we decide to go into the zone and check to see if we see a shiny Magikarp anywhere. And lo and behold, there is a shiny Budew. And I mean, I could not complain about this, because being able to get a shiny Roserade for the end of the run is definitely up on the list for me, because Sinnoh Pokemon are just some of my favorites in general. I mean, after finally catching another shiny, I was just extremely happy for the team, and I knew that this was good. I knew that this was extremely good for the run and that we could make something with it. So adding Budew to the team, we of course have to look at it, take some more photos, and continue on with the run. And after finishing the photos with Budew, we start the next battle zone area to complete our challenge ticket so that we can move on to our next ranked match to rank up to rank X. Once we finally make it into the battle zone, we run straight in, going to start our first couple battles. Now, I would say these battle zones are extremely easy. I do think that they should have made a higher level cap for the trainers in the area, because based off the level that we are in the game during this time, it doesn't make sense to be fighting a level 8 Kakuna. Granted, overall, the battle system of this game is truly amazing, and I really hope that they have this added into the next generation of Pokemon that comes out next year. As we close out our first victory in this battle zone, I start to think about the possibilities for the run. The amount of shiny Pokemon that I can hunt, and which ones I want to specifically go for the run. And there's a couple plans for this team. Obviously, it is not to have grass and bug type mainly. I want to add a fire type to the team, and want to add a fighting type to the team. But I also think a poison type would be very viable, so a Venipede hunt will definitely be in progress for this. Now, hunting Lucario, if anyone knows any good spots for Riolu, definitely let me know in the comments. But I'm going to enjoy this, going to make amazing videos out of this, and we will do it in pieces, part by part. And don't forget, during this time, of course, if you haven't yet, go ahead and like, subscribe, and make sure to have notifications on so that you see when the other videos come out. Any support for this channel is greatly appreciated, and there will be plenty more to come out over the next couple months and over the next years. So be on the lookout for it, and there's so much more to come for this channel. But with that, we finally finish out our last battle for this battle zone, so we are able to go do our challenge match. With that, we finally make it to the area for our challenge match, where we fight Yvonne. Now, I'll be honest, this match was a little bit harder than I expected, but you will see. The biggest issue of this fight was definitely the Vivillon because of my team's typing, but we end up coming out with the victory, in which I felt like this. I mean, there's no other way to feel about a victory like this. But going on, we finish the conversation with Yvonne and go on to go back to Hotel Z. We of course also completed our rank up to rank X, and as we get back to the hotel we get asked why we joined Team MZ, which was to save Lumos. Or 4 Lumos to be exact. But realistically, to save it, guys. That's what our mission is. During this, of course, Naveen will not tell us why he joined Team MZ, so it is decided that we must have a rival match with Naveen to find out why he truly joined Team MZ and why he wants to be a Pokemon trainer. Now, before battling Naveen, we finally get to do the evolution for Spinny the Spinarak. And let me tell you, the Ariados Shiny just looks so amazing. Like, you cannot complain about this. But either way, I was happy this was one of our teammates, and I was glad to have him on the team. And of course, getting into the battle with Tawny, because we just got Ariados. This was sadly one of the easiest battles of our life. I mean, we realistically just took out a broom and took out every single one of her Pokemon. And without further ado, guys, that is going to do it for the Shiny Only Part 1. But, of course, if you did, be sure to like and subscribe, comment what you thought of the video, and of course, there's going to be more coming throughout the next couple weeks. I'm excited for this. I'm excited to be able to share this content with you guys and just keep going with this. So, I'll see you guys in the next one.